We're live. Welcome to Tackle Tuesday. I'm Ben. This show brought to you by the F-Bomb. LuckyBugLures.com. Throw in today. If you are following me and our friends on Facebook, Instagram, or otherwise with me and Lucky Bug Lures, I invite you to use my promo code, thanks to Ben. That'll save you 15% off on your purchase online. Okay, so thanks to Ben. That's the number 2, and that'll save you some cash on your Lucky Bug order. All right, so it's Tuesday. It's Tackle Tuesday, and it's the Tuesday after a long weekend. How was everybody's long weekend? I hope everybody got their fun-filled weekend in, and it's back to the grind. In news and updates, we now have Mr. UPS man came and dropped off these. Okay, we got them, and you can get them here locally for anybody in town. We have them up at the Listowel 420 variety store. Where the chip wagon is. McIntosh Farms, same plaza, that variety store, the old Max, we got some of those up in there. So go see the boys and girls there, and you can get those bandanas locally. Otherwise, DM me or comment after the show, and I'll get in touch with you on how to acquire one of our bandanas. Tonight's a Vice edition, and tonight we are going to tie a classic fly. It is a classic pattern. It's an intermediate pattern. It's a pattern that most people can tie, and I'm going to put this up on the vise here, and hopefully. Here we go. And I'm going to use my handy dandy card here as a white back, and anybody comment, go ahead as to what that is. Anybody viewing right now as to what kind of fly this is? Anybody? Okay, well, tonight's fly that I'm going to tie on tonight's Vice edition is the woolly bugger. It's classic. It's an intermediate pattern. It's a wet fly. It's very successful on catching a variety of species of freshwater fish, bass, trout, panfish. All right. Depending on the size of the hook that you use, this woolly bugger can be tied upwards to a size 12. And that's pretty small. Tonight's hook that we're going to be tying will be, for all you folks out there, it's going to be a size 8. All right, we're tying a size 8 woolly bugger. So that's a streamer fly hook. You can find these hooks at your local tackle shop that deal with fly tying material, and it'll say right on it, long lure size 8. So I'm gonna again use my little trusty little backdrop. Where to go? You guys gotta stop with the moving of the equipment, really. Okay, so I'll hold that up there. I don't know if you could see that. That's a size 8. It's kind of blinding there. It's not very big. In fact, it's a little bit bigger than this fly that's on here now. So, with no further ado, let's start the fly edition. Oh, and somebody inquired about this tool. So we're going to demonstrate how to use this tool tonight. This is what's called a whib finisher, and it's for tying off the last knot when you finish your fly. So here we go. Size 8 hook, streamer hook. Alright, it's a turn down eye. Going in the vise here. Oh. Adjust it here. Some of the tools that we're going to be using tonight, again, are bobbin. I'm using Unithread 6/0 black. Okay, it's a heavier thread. I usually use a 6/0 when I tie my streamers. Anything bigger, we like to call them meat rigs. Anything bigger, I use my big fly line. I think I have a spool somewhere here. The boys set me up pretty good. Yeah, I see it's still on my bobbin. So we got the big fly, and this one, this doesn't necessarily have a 6/0 or a 4/0 or that measurement. It's a hardier fly line, and it's labeled blue, whereas this one is labeled orange, right? And it has a number on it. I'll pull out my thread box. Wow. You'd think these guys wanted to get paid or something tonight. So as you can see, I have my thread box here, or somewhat organized. Whatever's on the bobbin is out of the box, obviously. But my normal, regular, everyday use fly lines, 6/0 line versus my, what's this one? Yeah, this is another full spool of big fly. That's a full spool. That's for tying your things like hair jigs. Now, not to get confused about the coloring of the spools. This is a spool of red wire, and it's marked blue. So when you're looking at it, it'll be labeled quite clearly what it is on it. See, that says soft wire, 10, medium red. So there'll be descriptions, just like this copper soft wire. That's for tying different flies that we'll get into in other Vice editions. The reason I started the Vice edition was to educate people in the basic steps of what it takes to tie a fly, a simple fly, a fly that is effective in catching a variety of fish. So that's why I started it. Then you have other threads like lead wire for weighting a fly down more, wet flies and dry flies, depending on whether or not you use a floatant to keep it buoyant and subsurface. That comes into play, things like that. But the weight, lead weight around the shank of the hook here, that'll tend to create a buoyancy and allow that bait to fall at an even keel. Things with fly lines is there's weight forward, there's tapers, there's sink tips, there's floating lines. Typically floating lines you're going to use for dry flies. Weight forward sink tips you're going to use for wet flies. and streamers, because these are subsurface patterns that need the angler's presence to make the presentation by stripping the line in, so to speak. So we're going to get into this. This is the hackle feather I have lost. Sorry to the person who requested the woolly bugger tonight. I have lost the blue hackle feather that I was going to tie. So this hackle will be comprising of a golden hackle feather against a olive chenille and an olive marabou for a tail. So let's get at it. It's been a long time. Phew. I'm excited. Okay. What's this? Here we go. 6/0 red. Right. Depending on, like, when you finish the head of the fly, depending on the fly pattern, red or black will be the finished presentation on a fly. So, anyways, here we go. Is it there? Where is it? There it is. Okay. Oh. Oh my God. Give this man. He needs a tighter vise. He needs some milk. I can't squeeze that any tighter. I swear. Okay, if that goes limp one more time, I'm going to shut her down. Okay, here we go. So, depending on where you're going to build the material on your fly, I'm just going to give this one a wrap so it'll stop doing that. Oh. Scissors. I thought we had everything together. Come on, guys. We got beverages in the way. Thanks. Scissors. God, not these ones. You guys are pathetic. Anyways, hey. How much? Okay, we'll try this again.
All good?
Yep.
Okay. I have time to you. Hey.
Okay. All right. So there's a couple wraps. Maybe a couple more. There. Okay. Now, generally, on a woolly bugger, I'm going to change this hook. I don't like this position of the hook. There. Generally, when you're building the fly, you build from the butt forward to the head. Generally. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, so I like to build what's called a thread base first. I find that the material tends to bind better to the fly when it's got some other material already on the shank of the hook, because metals, you know, it's pretty, can't even see in this light. I hope you guys can see it. I should have wore white tonight. I apologize. And this is just not giving me the squeeze I need. Somebody, please. I need a new vise. There we go. Any comments, any questions so far? Please fire away. I'm just going to build this and take it step by step with you. So now that we've come back to the bend of the hook, we're going to prep for the two-part of the fly. This fly is somewhat tricky in that there's a lot going on in the beginning, but it all comes together in the end. So, this is chenille. It looks pretty. You could buy this stuff in craft stores even. It looks like a little glitter worm, if you will. And you can literally tie these as is on the hook, and tie it as a worm. So chenille, it's glittered. It's very nice presentation. So what I like to do is, where you cut it, there's some material. So you just pull that material off the thread. Now you have a thread. I don't know if you guys can see that. Now you have a little thread tip that you can attach to the body of the hook. Okay? So you wrap that little thread hook around. I'm going to do that. I'm going to lay that on there. Cinch this up a little bit. Nice tight wraps. You want to make sure that even a little bit of the material is okay to catch on that. So there, that's part of it. Now we come to the tail. And marabou, you have to be selective with marabou. Depending on the size of the hook that you're tying, 4 being the largest, and 16 being the smallest. When it comes to picking a marabou tail, what I like to do is I select a feather that has a single stalk, and that single stalk that carries out to a plume, right? So this guy looks pretty good here. So I'm going to pick this one, right? And then I don't need all of this material. Like that'll look ridiculous, right? So how do I figure out how much material I need for this fly in order to have a tail? Well, the answer is you measure from the bend to the eye of the hook. You measure that to the material. So you bunch it all up like I have here. Okay. It's a little bit tricky because marabou likes to poof out. It's very poofy. It's a poofy feather. But with practice and over time, you're able to pinch what I believe is enough material to produce the tail that's from the eye of the hook to the bend. So where that is now, you take that, lay it on top. Some people cut this or peel it back. And if that makes it easier for you, by all means, you can attempt that. I don't necessarily like doing that because not all marabou pieces are created equal. You can cut a little bit of it. Like if you have a little bit of an excess and you know where the excess is, by all means, pinch, cut it, and tie it, which I'm going to do here, which I don't, again, always do. It keeps the material out of the way though. So, again, over where you want to make nice tight wraps right over top of what you just did. And even go further back towards the bend of the hook. And some of the material fell out, but that's okay. So you see how this is a two-part now. I have the tail and I have the chenille connected to the fly. Bring that up to the eye. Alright, so there's his poor tail. That's half naked now. This is terrible. I apologize for this. So now, here comes the hackle feather. This all wraps forward. This is why I chose this fly, because it's one of the easiest ones to tie. The only struggle really is tying that tail on. So again, I forgot to show you guys this, and that's okay. I can do that right now. If I didn't show you in the last episode of Be More Outdoors Vice Edition, for anybody that's wanting to take up the art of fly tying, get yourself one of these. It's a hook and hackle gauge, all right? And it basically tells you exactly the size of a hook. Say you have an oddball hook in your fly tying kit, and you don't know what size it is offhand. So you would just take the hook and lay it over the silhouette and match it up that way. Now at the bottom here is the Hackle Plier. And how this works is it'll be hard to show you. Anyways, the material, see the lines that it looks like a Wi-Fi symbol? So those are gauged as the diameter of, I don't know if you see that, the diameter of the hackle wrap when it wraps around. So that's how big of a wrap it'll be, depending on the size of the hook to the size of the hackle. All right, so get yourself one of these. It's a hook and hackle gauge. It fits right on your intermediate fly vise. That's what I have. It's been with me since Jasper, so it's been good times. Oh no, I don't need to do that. No, you tighten that back up. Okay, we'll just pull that. So that's that for that. So we're gonna use the Hackle Plier, and we already know that we're tying on a size 8 hook. So I look at my Hackle Plier, I grab my hackle feather, and basically what you're going to do is the amount of material that you want to use, you would take the spine of the feather and bend it over like that. And this furl of the hackle feather will be gauged accordingly to the size of the hook. So you kind of have to play with it until you find, okay, that's an 8 or that's a 12, right? So I'm going to do that now. And the other thing about hackle feathers is you don't want to you don't want to leave yourself not enough material. Okay, so this on the gauge, it told me that it's suitable for a size 8 hook. So what I like to do is, see all this stuff here? I call this Muppet fur. So all that Muppet fur you don't need, and we know that this section of the hackle is definitely way too big for the circumference of the hackle that we're trying to apply to this dry or wet fly. So knowing this, we're just going to take this back here like this and strip all that back, and then we have a little stick there. See this? We snip that. That's it. Now we're free to use this entire feather. There. This is perfect for the hackle. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to tie this into here. Nothing's happened yet. We're still tying, we're still laying in material to this fly. The magic hasn't happened yet. We're just building on material here. So again, bring it back to the back. And sometimes when you're first learning how to tie a fly, your flies will be maybe butt heavy or head heavy, as I like to call it, depending on how subtle your wraps are or how bulky your material placement is. So I'm just going to wrap this hackle now, and it's going to stay where I wrap it until I need it. I'm not going to touch it now. That's it. Okay. Next step is to wrap this chenille forward. Oh, that was a silent F-bomb. Anyways, wrap it forward to the head of the hook, or the eye of the hook. So make sure your bobbin and your thread is where it needs to be to meet up with the material for the next step of application. All right, so right now, as we see, we just tied in our hackle. It's at the back. It needs to come forward again. So again, and what that does is that ensures that that piece of material, that hackle feather that we tied in, is in there nice and secure, and we just bring it forward. That sound, I don't know if anybody heard that ta-tunk. That lets me know I'm at the eye of the hook. All right. So now, hackle pliers. Hackle pliers are useful for a couple things. One of them for applying chenille like this, and hackle feathers. So here we go. I think this is too long, but yeah, it's too long. I'm going to snip this up. I cut way too much material off. There, that's plenty. That's plenty for a size 8 hook. Once you get going, tying these flies, and like I said, woolly bugger fly is probably one of the easiest flies you'll ever tie. And don't overlap this portion now. You just want to make even wraps towards the eye of the hook. All right, holding everything in place as you go. Even pressure. Oh. And I pulled out of the pliers. Dang it. Patience. That's why I took it up too. Patience, grasshopper. Right? 2, 3. Ah! Okay, well, now that chenille's off there, that should hold on to the pliers a little easier now that it's just thread. Nope. Okay, I'm just gonna hand bomb this. 3, 4, 5. And then just, oh, ambidextrous, you see that? Build the head up, come in with our scissors, snip that off. The fly is not done yet. It's still not done. Here's the tail. This is quite a boring fly, I must say. No, I'm kidding. Olive actually, olive and black primarily are probably the two primary colors that are in my fly box, and variations of each, for a simple reason of a lot of aquatic insects that the woolly bugger represents or could represent match those colors. So that's why I stick to olive or black. Never have really done any bright colors, so alright, so now these pliers are no good. Where'd that other box of where did the other set of pliers go? That's my question. What? What the hell? What the hell? Hey. Where'd they go? Oh no. Oh, you got them? There they are. Haha. Oops. Those ones will definitely hold. I can barely open these ones. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now we come in behind the chenille with the hackle. And this is the fun part, because then you watch as you pass it by each wrap, in between each wrap, and each wrap causes this hackle to pop open and gives this fly the woolly look, if you will. So in between each wrap, you just go in between each wrap of the chenille with the hackle coming forward to the eye of the hook. Nice and gentle, because it is a very delicate feather, and any sudden jarring or aggressive movement could break it off. Now, one wrap, this is a trick here for anybody intermediate tying this fly. It's what I do to get things out of the way, because it's very busy now. I don't know if you can see this very well, but it's a very busy fly right now. So I just, my two fingers, give it a little slick back. Alright, so I can see what the hell is going on up at the eye of the hook, because I still need to finish this off, and there's far too much action going on. So now that I got all those wraps on there, I can come in and snip the hackle hopefully off without it coming undone. There. Alright, give this another little slick back here, and we're just going to finish up the head with some wraps of black. I like to build the head up just because there's a lot of material happening with the olive chenille. Excuse me. All right, there it is. Refreshment time. And there you have it. There's your woolly bugger. Named after me. No, just kidding. So, the whip finish tool, I have not used it in I don't know how long, and I am very confused as to how I do it, but we're going to try this one more time. So, what I remember is this portion here hooks the line, and then, oh no. Yeah, see, I don't remember it. I'm not even going to attempt it because I don't remember it. And I apologize to everyone because I wanted to show you all the whip finishing tool. Where'd those other scissors go? Oh, there they are. Thank you. Here we are, my nice fine ones. Dr. Slick. This is shout out to them. They make some really, really great fly tying tools. So if you ever want to get into fly tying and you want some quality tools, Dr. Slick is your guy for that. So I'm just going to clean up this.
Man, I got your door blocked.
Oh, okay. I got neighbors talking to me through my door. Oh. Oh, is that what's going on there? Interesting. Okay. Okay. All right. There, that's what I'm looking for. A blackhead. Okay. So, the only other knot that I can do tonight, unfortunately, will be my poor ass half hitch, which I double over, and that will mess up my fly, but there it is, the woolly bugger. Simple, effective, and very versatile. That's the woolly bugger. She looks okay. Floof it out a little. Yeah. Just floof that out. There you go. That's the woolly bugger. All right. Super simple, easy to do. There's literally 3 pieces of material to this fly. That's it. That's all. You have your hackle feather, your body, and your tail. Go fishing. All right. Again, folks, if you're interested, the bandanas have arrived. Thanks to Mr. UPS truck. So hit me up after this. Leave a comment or DM me, and I'll give you the details on how to get one for yourself. Thanks. And remember, it's never a bad day to be more outdoors.